All right, Marshall, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Can you tell us the development currently ongoing in Enugu State?
Okay, well, it's another Monday in Enugu State. We are the capital city, and what you have is what we would rather call irregular movement. There's nothing regular about the way the people seem to be getting along. You know, the sit-at-home has been here for a while, where people are mandated to stay at home against their will, but thanks to the governor, you have him instructing that the sit-at-home ceases to exist, and he has said that anyone who doesn't turn up at work should not be paid. So what you find is essential workers trying to find a way to get from their houses to their places of work, and then you have majority of the Enugu residents still locking themselves behind closed doors in their homes for fear of being lynched by the unknown gunmen, what has come to be known as the unknown gunmen, or the suspected IPOB. You'd also have some set of people like the commercial bus drivers and the commercial keke operators, try to go out to see the passengers that they can carry along. The movement at its very, very minimal. For us to even try to get around has been pretty difficult, because there are places where you would venture into and find that not a single person is on the road. So you want to be careful and cautionary when plying such roads.
Marshall, I'd like to ask, how about security presence? You've talked about the fact that the skeletal movement of the masses in the state, and what about the security presence? Are there signs of securities around major points in Enugu State?
Some military personnel moving around in their utility vehicles. You hardly would find them setting up any roadblocks or checkpoints anywhere. And I have Dr. Onovo, whom I'll be getting across to in a short while, who has said that before now you would find the paramilitary, members of the paramilitary corps, mounting roadblocks and checkpoints at various parts of the town. You'd also find the police and military personnel also mounting these checkpoints and roadblocks. But on a Monday like this, you hardly would find them around, because they equally are apprehensive for their lives, because you'd remember that when this incident killing started, the members of the police force and the military personnel were the high targets before these unknown gunmen decided to begin to target civilians. So if you'd allow me, I'd like to introduce Dr. Amos Onovo here, who's also like a guide to us here in Enugu State. Doctor, what would you say movement or life in Enugu State has been, especially reviewing the Monday sit-at-home rather?
Okay. The activities of sit-at-home in Enugu in the present time has been okay because of the intervention of the executive governor of the Enugu State. Unlike in the past, where people are afraid to come around, to come out, to go for their businesses, because sometimes some of them are victims, some of them are killed. Sometimes you come out, you hear that at Emene, that buses or some vehicles were burned down and some people shot. At Gariki, you also hear the same report. At Newmarket, you see people running around. This time around, with the executive order by the governor that everybody should come out to come and do their normal business. The order has been kept by to a great extent by so many people, especially those who are not public servants, essential workers, like those who are traders in the market. Sometimes you see the markets are open, but you only see few traders coming to trade. Then for the government workers, you see most of them even come because they are afraid that they might be fired. And some of them are even taking the sit-at-home as a day for rest. Some of them use Monday as a day that they can use to travel to their villages to conduct one burial or the other, maybe traditional marriages or village meetings. This sit-at-home problem has a social and economic impacts in the society in Enugu as a whole. One is the issue of school education. We are affected so much to the extent that you see most parents, especially the private, the government school is that you are under compulsion to come to school, to report to school, but in that of the private, some of the parents will not want their children to come out. So we say, okay, let him stay or her stay home, then from Tuesday you can continue going because anything can happen. And nobody, even most of the victims, nothing was done. So you see people burying their loved ones, and nobody want to experience such. Right. Then another point is on the issue of it has reduced individual earning. You know, sometimes there are people in the society, they only depend on what the income they can make on a daily basis for them to survive. But this sit-at-home problem has become so terrible that to come out is a very big problem. So most of them stay at home, maybe going hungry, and you can know the effect of going hungry in Enugu State.
All right, then. That's so much we can have from you. I don't know if there will be questions from the studio.
All right, Marshall. I mean, you've been bringing us up to speed concerning happenings right there in Enugu State. But I'd like to ask, I mean, aside what we've also heard him say about how they are taking it, do you think that it has come to stay, or we might have to go back to what it used to be?
As something that has come to stay. Like Dr. Onovo has said, you heard him say that in the past it was more intensive, more enhanced. The government instruction seems quelling the intensity with which people observe the sit-at-home. And we're hoping that with developments like we're seeing in Anambra State and places like Ebonyi State, and we're hoping that Imo State can also follow that lead and begin to bring up its own security strategies to see that people have the courage, people are encouraged to come out and that their lives will be better secured. We do not hope that the sit-at-home would continue.
Thank you very much, Marshall Ononye, for bringing us up to speed with happenings in Enugu State. We'll join you in subsequent edition of the show.